you know, we have been working on a project, Guess who is coming to dinner, and this is the time to share out what you have found in different research that we've been conducting. So it is good to start introducing ourselves. My name is Anik Uwera.
I'm called Vijan Kankazi.
And I'm Saad Mukazi.
So thank you for your introduction. So we're going to start with different research that we've made about food-related events and foods, so that we can have like a general understanding. Let me start with change it potlatch. As you can understand, this is a word which has two words. The first is change it, which are people of Pacific Northwest in America, and also potlatch is stand for to stand for it's like giving. So potlatch was a social occasion given by a host to, to introduce his status in a society. It happened in different regions and so on. So there are also other activities that were presented, such as childbirth, daughter's first menstruation, and also different other changes which happened to a host. So there are different foods which were served, such as salmon, fish, also meat was served there. So these people had different beliefs, but one and crucial, the one which is more important is that they believed in supernatural power. So if you have any question about this presentation, you can go ahead and ask.
Thank you, Anik. But I have one question. You said about that event was showing your status to the population or to the congregation.
Yes.
But I wonder who was the people that you were showing. Maybe it's your family members or the region you live in or the whole country at large.
So it depended on the activities or on the event which you wanted to demonstrate. For example, if maybe it's daughter's first menstruation, this is an occasion which a host could show to the family. But also, if it's a childbirth, it was very important to to welcome different guests in a certain region.
Okay, I also had a question about the meaning of the word
Potlatch.
potlatch. As in, you said if it was named by South Pacific
Yes.
Americans, I would like to know if those events or what you talked about all is all occurred in that part of
So
America.
thank you for the question. Potlatch means to give. So like in this event, a host had always to give to give some, like a host had to give gifts to his guests, and also people who were invited had to eat at their maximum. Yes.
The exact place.
The exact place,
Which country?
yeah, Colombia.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. So for me, I did on the Hindu wedding. So for this, there were some, as in the Hindu is divided into two parts, which was the northwest part and the southwest part. So for the northwest, they like meat, a lot of meat. So on their menu in the wedding, you always find meat or some fishes. But for the south part of the Hindu, they don't like meat, so they are vegans. So on the menu you find a lot of vegetables. But there are some common food that you can't miss in their wedding, which are, for example, cakes. So in each and every Hindu wedding, there are always cakes. And also there are some foods which have the meaning in their culture. So for example, in the wedding, the bride and her father, they give a coconut to the groom, which is a sign of a blessing. So it's like telling the groom that their wedding is a blessing or wishing him to be blessed. And also there are some cumin seeds mixed with sugar, which they put on a betel leaf. So those cumin seeds mixed with sugar, the groom and the bride places it on each other's head, which is a sign of sharing a bit bitterness and sweetness of life. And also, the congregation or the people who attended the wedding, they do a sign of maybe wishing a blessing to the married couple, to the new couple, by pouring on them some springs of rice, because they believe rice as a food which brings blessings to the family. So the people who attended the wedding, they used to pour some rice to the new married couple. So if anyone has a question, you're welcome.
Nice presentation.
It's understandable.
Okay, I also did on the po of Hawaii. This is a kind of food that is made from taro roots. It's somehow bread and it's sticky, and it's believed that people who take po have the healthiest. They are healthy because some scientists made the research and say they have some nutrients that makes them healthy and prevent them from being affected of some diseases, uh, which is believed that there are many different nutrients that are in that po of Hawaii. And in this sport, it's good when they share it as a family, and when they gather as a family, they eat it, and the it can't miss in their preparations, and they say that it's pleasant when they socialize and eat, and the main reason because that caused them to not to lose the hope of Hawaii. They believe that it's holy, and people who prepare them, they are not as usual people. They first find people who are righteous, and then prepare the food, and then because they believe that it's holy, they prepare it and then serve it as that food. Um, Again, as I said, pour when they're preparing it or grinding, from roast to some of flour, there are some things you don't have, as in you don't have to grind when you have a cut on your finger. Girls try to tie their hair behind so that they cannot their hair cannot go in the flour. Make sure that everything is clean before you grind the those taro roots into the flour. So this is the kind of food I searched on of Hawaii. If you have any problem or question about it, you may ask.
Okay, thank you for your presentation. You told us that form of Hawaii is in a form of bread. So I'm wondering if they take it during the breakfast time, or if you can take it anytime as you wish.
Yeah, anytime you can take it, whether breakfast or dinner, because it's stuff. It can be prepared in many kinds of things, whether bread or served as food for lunch or some snacks. Yeah, it depends on how you want to take it.
Okay.
Yeah, I also have a question. Like you said, to prepare it, it's not anyone who can prepare it. There are some, you said rituals,
Ritual.
people who prepare the pork.
Mm.
They have to be holy, they have
Yeah.
to be. So I wonder if the pork is eaten every day or it's eaten in special occasions, because you can't easily find someone to come and prepare it for you at any time.
Okay, thank you for the question. As in, food is prepared every day, anytime. But when it comes to that event of coming as the whole family to prepare the food, they find those people who are righteous or holy to prepare for that event and then serve it.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay. So we come to say one food or food related event. So let's proceed with the second one. For me, I worked on also a food related event, which is tailgating at football. So tailgating at football was a social event which happened in America, and this event is held around tailgate of of the vehicle. So at this time, if people are preparing to attend this event, they should all prepare themselves, pack food, pack everything that they will need during that event. So During this time, they share different games, they play different games, and the specific game which they play is football. So food which are mostly served here is fish and vegetables. You can wonder the reason they serve such kind of food is to help people getting proteins from them. So I have found the ritual, like I have found an anthropologic term which is very close to this event, which is ritual. A ritual means repetitive activities that usually take place at a set time in a given location. So this event happens usually. It happens in a repetitive time. So thank you. If there is any question, you can go ahead and ask.
I would like to ask you if that event of football something, if those proteins are to be given from that event only, or they usually eat them.
They usually eat them.
Thank you. So, for me, I did on the Pennsylvania Dutch cuisine. Pennsylvania is a state located in the United States of America, but they are Dutch people who live in that state because they migrated. They migrated from there in 19th century, so they have their own way. They kept their culture. They have their own way of behaving, the food they eat. So there are some two important food that you cannot miss on the menu. The one is the funnel cake. The funnel cake was common because they used to sell it on in the Christmas or New Year's Eve. They sell it at churches. So there were some. It's kind of cakes that the family shares. They eat it on Christmas event or New Year's event. And also the funnel cakes became popular because they were served in a festival that happened. So they became popular as one of the food of the Dutch people. And also the other is the whoopie pie. Whoopie pie are like some sandwich, but they are cookies which they have cream inside. So those whoopie pies were mostly eaten by the men because there are some men who went to in the at work, so they were transportable. They were easily to be transported, so they taken it so that they can eat at lunch or when they get the break. So whoopie pies were also very common in Pennsylvania. So if you have a question, you can go ahead and ask.
Okay, thank you for presentation. Maybe it's a clarifying question. You told us that coffee pies are in form of sandwich.
Yes.
Thank you.
I also want to ask you the significance of those foods to the culture, as in at large.
So those food were believed that they are mainly important for them. So whenever they are not even common in other cultures, so you cannot find even the Pennsylvania is in the United States, but you cannot find easily funnel cakes in maybe Virginia or any other state of the United States. So they are specialities.
Thank you for your presentation. I also made a research on Japanese rice. I found that it's very important food in Japan because any food or dish they like is rice. Rice is made in different things. Uh, they they make it as snacks, some for dinner, and even and they can be portable, where they can take it even at work, whether anytime you want to take it, you may take it as a snack. So Japanese rice, it has different types of kinds of rice to eat, and then they say that it can't miss on a New Year. When there is a New Year, they celebrate that's the dish they can't miss, and the the when the girl has the first mens or menstruation, they call upon people and then share the rice, and also they consider it as a food which has a value, and then they celebrate as a family or people, many people who have come here, there to socialize and celebrate how the girl has grown up and had women characteristics, uh, and that's another importance of Japanese rice. They tell us that there are many streets that have names of types or many types of rice, and they name it as a street. Yeah, and that's all about the Japanese rice. And if you had not had anything, I can give my explanation.
Okay, you told us that you cannot miss that rice on a New Year. And Vivian told us which food you cannot miss.
Funnel cake.
Okay, funnel cake. So it's a kind of similarity.
Yeah, they are kind of similar.
So if there is no any other question, we can proceed with identifying different similarities. So one of the similarities that I have recognized is that those events have some specific food which were served. For example, during the event of tailgating, they served fish, also which is the same as in Hindu wedding and also in potlatch. So another thing that I have recognized is entertainment. During potlatch, they entertained by having different dancers. In tailgate, they entertained by playing football, and also
In Hindu weddings, they used to play some games. So, for example, the game that they played was between the bride and the groom. So they were, as in, usigana some cakes in their faces. So, which was to find who will be dominant in the couple. So, if I'm the first to smear you cakes, so I will be dominant in the couple. So they were trying to see between the groom and the bride who will be dominant in the couple.
Okay, so I have also realized another similarity, which is in Chinese Japanese rice. They have rice,
Yeah.
and also they make from rice some cakes.
Yeah.
Yes, which is similar to what you say.
Yeah, and also those cakes, they can be transportable to work.
Yeah.
So that they are portable to work, and also those funnel cakes, they are portable to work.
Okay, so let's continue with some differences. I think they are there.
There are some differences upon the events and the food, like types of the fish served were different, games played were different, and the gifts which are given, they are also different.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, for example, in fish, during stringent potlatch, they serve salmon fish, but during tailgating, they serve with fish, which is different. So, let's proceed with a food blog that we have been doing. Maybe we can start from Zawad.
Okay, thank you. About the research we made about the foods or the events that that take place in our country, Rwanda, I made the research about the event called Umuganura. That's the Thanksgiving Day, where people gather and then socialize, share some different foods that are starchy food for the culture. Like they share beverages like they call it urwagwa. Yeah, that's kind of drinks that are made from sorghum. They share some sorghum bread, which you call it mutsima here in Rwanda, and maize, and drink milk, and serve a very big tables where we come and socialize, where we find different stages of people like children, youth, old people, very different people where they come and gather to share those kind of foods, and you find it's very enjoyable. And what I've seen that that kind of event, it appears or it happens every first Friday of the August every year. That's when that event occurs in our country, Rwanda. So that's the event I talked about. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Maybe you can tell us food which are served. You told us.
There is maize, sorghum bread,
Okay, I've come to realize that in terms of like different terms that we've been reading or um, memorizing, there is one which is called symbol and symbolism. Is it the like is it the reason that in case we see maize, we think of that event?
No, as in when you eat maize, or that's the the significance of the country. It says that when you eat those kinds of foods, that's it gives, if I can say, some blessings to agriculture and every year, so that everything, or every year when the harvest appears, we have to share those kind of stacky foods in the country.
Okay.
And another thing related to the culture, milk in cows is related. That's why they can't also miss milk in the beverages. Yeah.
So for me, the question I have for you, why did you choose to work on Muganira?
Omuganya, that's the event I had and I know and I still see. As in, I also asked my grandmother, like, they had it even long ago, and still now it still occurs, and that's why I liked it. And I liked it because it also it keeps us reminding us how we should like our culture. It reminds us what the culture has, and the uniqueness of the culture from other countries' cultures. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So for me, the event I worked on in my culture was the unveiling ceremony, which is a part of the traditional Rwandan wedding. It is known as Ugutwi Kurura in our mother tongue. So this event is very interesting, and the reason why I chose to work on this event because I approached my grandmother while working on this project, and she told me about the wedding in the last days. So I was interested by this last part because I've I've seen that there were a lot of mystery in this part. So for the unveiling event was our ceremony, which is known as Utwikurura. It was taken at the it take place after the marriage, after the main wedding. So the married couple lived at their home. So the family of the bride would pay a visit, bringing milk, some milk gods known as Itansi and Ibisabo. Those were the signs that they wished that the new couple or that home to always have milk, because milk is a drink which is very important in our culture. So after that, they would leave the home and they escort them. So when they are back to their homes, the the family of the husband can come after. So in that event, the father of the husband and and his brother were supposed to shave the hair of the girl or of the bride. This was a sign that she was from the girlhood to the motherhood or womanhood. So, because as you know, before in the last days, the girls used to have the hairstyle which is known as amasunzu. So they would shave off her hair or cut off her hair so that she can grow the new hair to be able to have the woman's hairstyle which is known as uruhanika.
Okay.
So this was done by the father, the husband, and the brother to the brother of the husband. So the father could start and shave a part of the hair, the husband at the second, and the last his brother. So if they did not know how to shave, they could place a scissor or any other shaving tool, so as a symbol, and then call upon anyone who knows how to shave. And also for this unveiling ceremony, before the unveiling ceremony, the bride was not allowed to go outside or to do any other activity. This was because she was afraid, or she was maybe ashamed because she did not. It was a new experience for her, and she could fear that everyone will know that she's now married and she's no longer a virgin. So she had that shame. But when she's shaved, it will be official, so she will no longer be ashamed or afraid to go out or to do any other activity. So thank you. If you have any question, can ask.
You worked on interesting event, and I'm wondering if like Amasunzu was a symbol of
Woman.
was a symbol of girlhood.
Yeah, because in the last days the girls were having amasunzu and women were having
Uruhani. Okay. Okay.
Thank you for your presentation, Vivian. You said you saw a lot of mystery in this kind of events. I would like you to tell me some of the mystery you were best about.
Oh, so the one I was surprised of was the people to shave or to cut off the hair of the bride. So she had her family, she had the aunties, but it was her father-in-law, the husband, and the brother-in-law, which was, I don't know, it's a bit surprising.
Yes.
Why not her family? Why not her sister? So why they choose the husband or the family of the husband to cut off her hair?
Maybe it's because she has gone in another new family.
Yeah, that's even the meaning of it.
Okay. So I can proceed with my field log. The activity that I worked on was Kwenga Urwagwa, which is our local beer, and also Kwenga Umutobe. Yeah. So Umutobe is our local juice. So I went on having this field log at Gamoni district, where I found about 5 people who were doing this activity. I tried to ask them, like, I tried to ask myself, why is still Urgwa present in our culture? Like, is it because it was in our culture, or like because there are different beverages which are more like which are more healthy than having this urwagwa. So I tried to ask them the reason they do this. They told me that it's in our culture, and even our ancestors passed this culture to the sons and also to their families. So they told me that these activities were done in case they were having like many bananas. They were like harvesting many bananas to mean in a season of recollecting many bananas. So in addition, they told me that these activities were mostly done in case a family was going to have invitees or guests for a given ceremony. So they prepared this in order to have drinks to serve to their guests. So I tried to ask them like the ways in which they do these activities. So they told me about 5 steps so that a person will be able to get a prepared urwagwa. So they told me that you have first of all to obtain ripe bananas, and also you put them in umuvure. So you press them with grass to get like a juice, and at this step you can be have you already have having mutobe. So then after that you still the content. After stilling, you put the ground millet at the top of the juice, and you cover it, and you press it in a warm place so that you are so that you can allow fermentation to happen. So you just wait for 3 days. After 3 days, you are able to get your urwagwa. Yes. Okay, so maybe we can go ahead identifying different, like we had different terms which were among them there is ritual symbols, so we can try to relate our field log with these terms if possible.
Yeah, so for me, if I may start,
Yes.
so I used a term which is called cultural relativity. This is, it means questioning the belief that you have that your culture is the best compared to others. So, because I believe that our culture was the best and the way we do our wedding was the best, I couldn't be able to analyze the Hindu wedding or the things they do in their wedding. So, but after reading that term and understanding how to use it, So I questioned, or I ignored that belief that my culture is the best, so that I could understand what is happening in other cultures, like Hindu weddings, what they were doing, and why.
Okay, well, I also did on the word of ethnocentrism. This is kind of uniqueness of the culture, if you can say, and I found every kind of food I made a research on had the uniqueness. As in the pork, it's believed to be holy, and it has when in that the ceremony have to be served by righteous, and I don't think there is another place which has that kind of belief as those from Hawaii. And also that the Rwandan culture, uh, those kind of foods, I don't think there is those milk, because sorghum bread and traditional dances that have, there's no other culture that has the similar foods or dances that they perform in those kind of ceremonies. Yeah.
Thank you for your presentation.
So I was about to talk about also symbol. So, for example, in the unveiling ceremony that I was talking about, which is Kukurura, so the milk milk counts, which is Itansi, it's a symbol that they wish the family to always have the milk. Guhorana amata kurahira.
Okay.
So when someone gives you a milk count or Itansi, it's like wishing you to always have milk in your home.
Okay. So for me, I worked on a term called ritual, and this is a repetitive event which happened. So in starting from Sinjit Potlatch, this was an activity which always happened once a host is having some special thing to demonstrate to the society. Also, in tailgating, this was also the event which happened uh, in a repetitive way, so as to help people like to help people playing football, getting to know each other, and so on. So also in our culture, this activity of Kwenga happened every time once like a family is having a ceremony. So they had to prepare these drinks so that they will be able to have some drinks to give to their guests. So,
So I have a question. So we believe that every 25th December it's Christmas.
yes.
So is that a ritual? Because every year.
Yes, it's a ritual, but it's almost related to culture, because the way Rwandans prepare Christmas is different from the way Americans prepare Christmas. So it's always related to the culture and beliefs. Yes. So I think if there is no any other misunderstandings, this is the end of our discussion. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.